You know you want to get married in Scotland, but just not where, or you know you want to get married on Isle of Skye, this video guide is for you. Hi, I'm Megan, your Scotland-based elopement photographer that's by the accent, originally from the States, and I'm here to help you plan your Isle of Skye elopement. I'm your fun Gen Z ex-theater kid bestie, and we're going to break down everything you need to know about eloping in Scotland and Isle of Skye and how to get married here. So without further ado, let's get into the video. The Isle of Skye, Scotland is literally an otherworldly location for your elopement or intimate wedding day, full of stunning landscapes of green hills, cliffs, unique beaches, pools, and of course, so many sheep friends. Isle of Skye, Scotland is perfect for those wanting to elope in a stunning landscape that's relatively easy to get to. This guide is going to unpack everything you need to know about Isle of Skye elopements from a local photographer. The Isle of Skye, or Skye for short, is one of the more accessible and popular islands in Scotland. Located in the northwest, a small bridge connects the mainland Scotland to the bottom of Isle of Skye. Since it's pretty close to the mainland, most people travel over the bridge instead of ferry. Some major cities, quote unquote, in Isle of Skye are still tiny towns, but they are spots on Skye that have petrol or gas stations, a place to eat, and a grocery store. For Americans, the grocery store might be smaller than a 7-Eleven, so keep that in mind. Portree is the most well-known town on the north side of the island. This town has multiple shops, a pharmacy, restaurants, little hotels, and a cute harbor with colorfully painted buildings. Broadford is the largest town on the south side of the island. There's a few restaurants, a place to stay, gas stations, and a larger co-op. Isle of Skye is the town just before you cross the bridge to Skye. There's a small train station, stores, and restaurants, and places to stay. This is still about an hour's drive from the Querang and other popular spots in Skye, but it's only 10 minutes from the major castle. Popular locations in the Isle of Skye, well, in the summer, that's the entire island. I'll list a few that are more well-known in the area. Every spot you head to is otherworldly and worth the visit. As an American, please don't make us look bad and be respectful of the land and the locals. Some really popular spots to check out are the Querang, the Old Manor Store, and the ferry pools. Let's talk about how to travel around the Isle of Skye. It's the left side of the road, bitches. Skye is really only accessible by car. Sure, you could take a bus, but it could be a long time before you see one, and it might go past the cool pullouts you've wanted to see. I cannot tell you enough that you need to know how to drive on single track roads here. There's spots in Skye where you have to yield to oncoming traffic on the main road, so please pay attention and look over road signs for the UK. P.S. Double check if the car you're renting is an automatic if you can't drive a stick. They're a bit more expensive, but totally worth it. Some major airports near Skye. So Isle of Skye is remote, so you're driving at least 2.5 hours to get to the island. Inverness is definitely the shortest drive, and there are flights from London to Inverness. If you'd rather take a train, I would still take the train from your original point to Inverness. I love driving in the States, but over here it's more exhausting and not as fun. Some other airports you could fly into is Glasgow and Edinburgh. How to travel around Isle of Skye by car. Driving in the UK is so much more complex than it is in the US. The roads are smaller, curvy, and there's no multiple lane motorways. If you want to overtake someone, you need to haul ass when a dotted line comes up before you go around a bend again. On Skye, there's some spots where oncoming traffic has the right of way, and you need to yield to them. Sometimes this is on the main road where you're going 60 miles per hour. Single lane roads are also super common in Skye and sometimes requires you to reverse into a passing place. While I'm also an American that got my driver's license from some fuck-ass easy test, I also feel confident driving in tricky situations because my British dad was teaching me how to drive. All this to say, if you're not a confident driver, don't act like it. Let people pass you, research and read about the traffic laws in the UK. It's really not drastically different, but believe people when they're saying Europe is more difficult to drive in. Why you should elope in Isle of Skye, Scotland. Isle of Skye is unlike any place in Scotland. I was literally contemplating going back on my antidepressants, then I took a trip here for a week and decided I was good. It's full of so many dramatic landscapes, from beaches to peaks and everything in between. If you love animals, Skye has so many sheep, horses, and obviously cows. Skye gives a wild feel to your elopement photos while still being near accommodation and towns to have a celebratory dinner with loved ones. Frequently asked questions about eloping in Isle of Skye, Scotland. How many witnesses do you need to get married in Scotland? You only need 2 witnesses to get married in Scotland. I, your photographer, can count as one, and we can always find a stray hiker to sign as the other if you're not bringing any guests. Can you legally get married in Scotland as an American? Yes, but it's not always an easy process. I usually tell couples to get legally married in their home country, then have all the fun celebrations and vows over here. We can just tell people you did it legally here, I'll keep it secret. Is Isle of Skye a good place to get married? Short answer, duh. Actual answer, yes. Isle of Skye has so many beautiful landscapes that are easily accessible and perfect for wedding attire. There's plenty of accommodation around the island, and it's easily accessible by the bridge from mainland Scotland. Do you need a car in Isle of Skye? Yes. There are a few public transportation options, but it's most common to get around by car. You're able to get most any locations and have the flexibility to explore a pullout or shelter from some rain if it gets bad. What time of year should we get married in Isle of Skye? Shoulder seasons, March through May, or September through November are usually the best times. There's not usually as many tourists and the weather can still be nice. Keep in mind Scotland can get 4 seasons in one day and is notoriously very windy, so be prepared for anything. Are the midgies bad in Isle of Skye? These fuckers called midgies are little bugs that bite you in the quantities of gnats, often known to be worse than mosquitoes. You can avoid them by steering clear of still water like lochs, hanging out in bright light, dusk and dawn they can be active, and embracing the wind. They're usually more active in warmer months. What does the right to roam mean in Scotland? Unlike the States, where you could get shot for trespassing, Scotland has a right to roam. You're allowed to cross through private property to access a beach or other location. It's not weird here, just be respectful of other people's property, close gates behind you, and don't just go sit on someone's porch. That's weird. The best time of year to get married in Isle of Skye. The most important thing to know about seasons in Scotland is that they can happen any day in any month. Snow in June? Sure. A 60-degree Fahrenheit and sunny day in December? Not unheard of. The only thing that you can always depend upon is that the wind will be blowing and it will probably rain at some point during the day. The wind adds some movement and romance, and the rain can be so fun and give the Notebook vibes though. Don't let a little bit of Mother Nature prevent you from having an epic elopement day in Skye, but the midgies can, so watch out for those little bitches. If you're looking for long, sunnier days, definitely go in summer, from May through August. If you're looking for some moodier weather, early fall or spring, for September through October or March through May. If you want to avoid the fucking midgies, winter and shoulder seasons, so September through May is a good time. And if you want to avoid an ungodly amount of tourists, winter and shoulder seasons, so October through April is your best bet. The top 5 locations for your Isle of Skye elopement. Girl, you could literally hop out at a pullout on the Isle of Skye and it would be stunning. If you want my exact pin to some of the most breathtaking spots though, here are my top 5. Keep in mind when you book me, you get access to my entire Isle of Skye location guide where I can take you to some more secret and stunning locations for an intimate ceremony. First is the Quorang, located on the north side of the island. The Quorang is an iconic geographical land feature. It has rolling green hills with stunning backdrops of cliff with sheep. Second is the Old Manor Store. The Old Manor Store is a hike that takes you up 1.5 miles of stairs to a lookout that views some really interesting stones. Folklore says the stones are giant's fingers, but I know where your mind went. Nasty. Number 3 is the fairy pools. The fairy pools are a sweet water feature with a stunning backdrop of mountains behind them on the south side of the island. It's a relatively short walk, but can get a little crowded with tourists. The Schlangen Waterfalls. Near the middle of the island, these falls are stunning and have a faster moving river with the mountains behind them. There is also a really pretty old bridge near the car park. Elgol Beach is near the south side of the island, accessible by a single track road. It has a stunning backdrop of mountains that seemingly come out of the sea, as well as a beautiful rock feature. This beach is mainly large rocks, so it's not great for running around, but it's still stunning. How to get legally married in Scotland. When eloping, it's important to know how to get legally married, including the amount of witnesses you need and what paperwork you need to complete and bring with you. Getting married in Scotland as UK citizens, You need to complete and send a marriage notice form 1 to 3 months before your elopement date. You'll need 2 witnesses above the age of 16. How to get married in Scotland as a US citizen. So if you're not a UK citizen, you need to complete and send the marriage notice form 1 to 3 months before your elopement date. You need 2 witnesses above the age of 16, and you'll need a certificate from your country saying there's no reason you can't be married in your country. Alternatively, you can get married in the courthouse local to you to get all the legalities squared away, but have your ceremony and festivities in Scotland. Where to stay in Isle of Skye, Scotland. I split this section into 2 sections. Keep in mind where you want to get married and look for accommodation closer to those areas. I'm up to spending all day driving, but again, a 2-hour drive in Scotland feels a lot longer than in the US. So if you want to stay on the north side, you're thinking Green Hills, Coastal Cliffs, and the Corang, you might want to look into Airbnbs closer to Portree. If you want to stay on the south side, think pools, really cool beaches, and waterfalls, you're going to be wanting to stay near like Algol or Broadford. What to do on Isle of Skye, fun elopement activity ideas. If your fiance is obsessed with sheep or cows, you're in the right place. Head to a farm to meet some of the cute animals, bonus points if you go in the spring to see all the baby animals. Isle of Skye is full of hikes and walks where you can wander all over the beautiful island and take in all the scenery. Head to a ceilidh if you want to do some traditional dancing and celebrating, or head to one of many breweries. We love whiskey and Iron Brew here. Hey friends, it's your new favorite American, Megan. Born and raised in the United States, I photographed elopements all over the West Coast before moving to Edinburgh, Scotland in July of 2025. I've spent my time exploring Europe and helping couples get married abroad ever since. Also, if you're not American but still like my work, I'll still work with you, promise. XOXO. My main goal is to give you every resource you need to plan your dream day abroad. I'm a type A that's now a pro at Google Maps and AllTrails and can find any location on your Pinterest board, even if I haven't been there myself. I'm here to lead you through some of the most epic locations Europe has to offer and take pretty pictures of you in it. All-inclusive Isle of Skye Scotland elopement packages. Since I'm based in Scotland, Isle of Skye is like my backyard. I know you're jealous, but now you can come visit, so it's okay. All of my packages include every planning resource you can need, endless calls with me, 4 hours of photo coverage with the option to add more, at least 300 photos, and a sneak gallery within 72 hours. I also shoot photos and video at the same time, and you can add on a highlight film of your day to keep your moments in motion, and only have one vendor to touch base with. Head to my website to see all my packages and pricing. If you're looking for a sample Isle of Skye 8-hour elopement timeline, here's how I would spend it. We meet at noon, you're getting ready photos and just having a slow morning, drinking some coffee, then that's gonna last about an hour and a half. At 1:30, we're gonna do your first look and some bow riding photos, which is about 45 minutes. So at 2:15, we start driving to your first location. Let's put aside about 60 minutes to account for sheep on the road. So at 3:15, we're gonna start your ceremony. Typically, these last about 30 minutes tops. At 3:45, we'll do some celebratory photos, pop some champagne, and then just celebrate. So that's about 45 minutes around your ceremony location. At 4:30, we're gonna do an activity. You can choose horse riding, pet cows, whiskey tasting, etc., anything that speaks to you. We're gonna do that for about an hour and a half. At 6 p.m., we'll do dinner, a private chef at your Airbnb, a fancy restaurant, grab a pizza and a view. Let's just set aside an hour to get your blood sugar back up. At 7 p.m., we'll do sunset portraits at a second location. If the sun isn't out, we're just going to get a bit of variety in your gallery by doing 2 epic locations on Skye. At the end of that, maybe an hour, that's going to be 8 p.m., which is a full 8 hours of photo video coverage. Some final tips for eloping on Isle of Skye. Embrace the weather, to hell with the midgies, and have the best time exploring one of the most epic places in the entire world. Bring some Brooksberry, waterproof shoes, and a shot of whiskey. When you hire me, I'll take care of the rest. If you're sold on Isle of Skye or you're looking for a few more locations before making a final decision, head to the link in my bio, and I have so many more resources on how to elope in Europe. See you soon!